Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. It is me, Desiree, and it's time for another planty video. In this video, I'm just going to be talking about 3 Scindapsus Pictus Exoticas that I have. I did a video like this a few months ago. It's one of the first videos on this channel if you want to check it out, where I compared 3 Cebu Blue pothos plants. I bought one from Walmart, one from an online shop, and one from PLANTERINA, which is also another online shop. And I just talked about the price, what they look like, the condition they're in, the care, which one I would recommend, all that kind of stuff. And I have three of a few other plants as well, and I think I'll do the same thing for those plants. But in this one, we're going to be talking about Scindapsus Pictus Exotica. I have one from PLANTERINA, one from a local nursery, and then one from the grocery store. I'm just going to share with you the price of each one, how I take care of it, the condition that it's in now, which one I would recommend, and then just some care tips and stuff about the plant. So let's talk about the first one that I purchased from PLANTERINA. So if you don't know what PLANTERINA is, it's an online plant shop. They also have a YouTube channel that's called PLANTERINA, and this is where I found their online shop. At the time, this was last year, and I've only been into houseplants for almost a year now. And at that time, I didn't know that people sold plants online. I didn't know there were shops that sold plants online. And when I found PLANTERINA's YouTube channel and then her online shop, I thought she was the only one. Like, I literally thought this was the only place that sold plants, but I now know there's probably hundreds of them out there. A ton of people sell plants online. But PLANTERINA sells plants online, and this is the plant here. The Scindapsus Pictus Exotica is one of the most beautiful plants in the world. I cannot believe this grows in nature. Like, what the heck? It is so gorgeous. It's not really gonna translate on camera, but all this like silvery part here, in the light, it has like an actual silver shimmer to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the leaf is thick. It feels like it's fake. It feels like it's made out of like some sort of material of some sort, almost like a succulent. And this is one of those plants that I wait for the leaves to tell me that it needs water, not the soil, because in my experience, the plant doesn't mind being dried out for a while, and it actually kind of prefers it. At least that's been my experience with the plant. I bought this one from PLANTERINA on June 27th of 2021, and it was $59. Okay, to be fair, this did have one other leaf on it. I actually just cut it off about a week ago because I moved it to a new room and it didn't like it, and a immediate leaf died. So this did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves when it arrived. It arrived messed up. I do have another video I want to do reviewing all the plants I've purchased from PLANTERINA and just sharing what my experience has been with the company, because they're very hit and miss with their shipping. This was one of the plants that arrived messed up. They did sell this as a 6-inch plant. To give you a little bit of reference, this is a 6-inch pot. This is the plant that arrived. I repotted it actually into a very, very small terracotta pot, because when it arrived in this 6-inch pot, the leaves and the cuttings that were in it were unrooted. And I'm not exaggerating when I say unrooted. There was not one root on the cuttings. It was just this 6-inch pot filled to the top with soil with 7 cuttings stuck into it. It was packaged terribly, and when it arrived, I'm not exaggerating, the entire pot full of soil was all over the package. So that's why I know that these were unrooted. It's because all the cuttings fell out and I had to repot it. I didn't bother putting it back into this pot because I thought that was kind of overkill for 7 cuttings, like a 6-inch pot. And I did pot it actually into a smaller terracotta pot, like a terracotta pot that was a little smaller than this. And I just kind of put some soil, stuck the cuttings in there, and they stayed in there till about 2 weeks ago. Actually, I transferred it into a nursery pot because the terracotta, it was just drying out so much, and I was afraid that one day I was just going to not get to it in time and, you know, it might die. So I put it back into a plastic pot. I'll find a nicer one. This is just one I'm reusing. The plant is absolutely beautiful. A very, very, very slow grower. It hasn't grown one leaf since I've had it. It has a little tiny nub, like a little thing growing right here, so I'm hoping a leaf is going to grow out of there. The plant is doing well. When I repotted it into here, it was completely rooted, like roots everywhere, and I was so happy. And I was so happy to see all those roots, because just the way it arrived and everything, I wasn't expecting it to make it, to be honest. But it's doing very well. The plant is in great shape, doing well, just very, very expensive. And I didn't know that Planterina was, you know, not the only shop that sold plants. So when I saw somebody talk about this in one of their videos, I went straight to her website, I saw it, and I bought it, and I was so excited. I'm still very, very happy with this plant, but when I show you the other two that I have, you're gonna realize, or I'm gonna realize, you don't need to spend this much money on this plant. You're gonna find it somewhere else. And this is kind of the lesson I learned with the Cebu Blues, and I talked about in that video. Just wait. If like when I see something I want, I feel like this. Like I feel like I can't rest, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I have to have it right now. And that's how I felt with this plant. I'm happy with my purchase. Obviously, the plant is doing fine. I don't regret it. But I wish I had just held out a week or two because I would have found this big giant one I'm going to talk about in a second. So that's just a lesson I've learned when it comes to plants. If I see something I want, I'm just going to wait because you're going to find a better one. You're going to find a cheaper one. Someone else is going to sell it and you're going to kind of regret spending $50 extra on a plant you didn't need to. My 2 cents. Okay. The next one I want to talk about is this one I actually got at a local nursery. This one was $10. And this one did have 2 more leaves on it, but I had both of these in a spot that, I don't know, they were just too low and I felt like they were getting like dusty and just kind of dirty all the time. So I moved them to another room with different lighting and I don't think they liked it or they got shocked because this one had a leaf turn yellow and this one had 2 leaves turn yellow almost right away. Someone told me in one of my other videos that this one is actually a silvery Ann. I don't know if that's what this is. It was sold as an exotica, but I think because it has so much silver on it and less green that it might be a silvery Ann. I'm not sure. Either way, very gorgeous plant. Same with the other plant, very, very slow grower. It does have a couple of little new growth points here, but I'm not expecting to see those leaves for a very long time, a month or so maybe. In my experience, this has just been a very slow grower no matter how much light I give it. It's just like going at his own pace and I'm perfectly fine with that as long as the rest of the plant is doing fine. So you see, I paid $50 something for this one and I got this one for $10. It did take months and months for me to find this at my local nursery, but one day I saw it and I was like, I have to get it. That's just too good of a deal. This is one of those plants that I often hear people refer to as common, a common plant, but common is relative. Is that the right way to say that? You know, not every plant is going to be common to everybody, and this is definitely not one that's common to me or my area. I've only been into houseplants for almost a year. I have gone countless times to the same places over and over and over that we have here. I literally go several times a week to these places. And I've only seen this one time at the nursery. And if I hadn't gone that day, I wouldn't have seen it at all because I haven't seen it again since. So, I mean, some plants are common. You might see them all the time at your plant shops, but this is not a common plant to me or where I live, you know? So I think $10 was a steal for this plant. I think it's so gorgeous, so cute. And, you know, if I had just held out for a little while, I wouldn't have had to spend so much money on that one, you know? And then the last one I have here is just a stunner. When I saw this at I got this at the grocery store. When I saw this at the grocery store, I beelined for it. So the grocery store I found it at is called Albertsons. I don't know if you have that where you live. I don't even know what like the generic name for the store is because I know like King Soopers is like Smith's and different Kroger maybe depending on where you live. I don't know what Albertsons is called other places, but that is where I found this. The one that I went to right here by my house, when you walk in right to the plant display. And when I saw this hanging on their hanger for $12.99, I lost my mind. I mean, I walked so fast up to it, I felt my heart going like this. I couldn't believe this was $12.99. It was big and beautiful just like this. I want to say this has only grown like 3 leaves since I've had it, this one being the newest one here. In my experience, just a little lesson, my little tip, if you want to find one of these really good finds, these big hanging baskets for a good price at the grocery store, you have to go all the time. You have to go all the time. Stop at the one that's near your house on your way home from work. Stop several times a week because they don't get deliveries all the time. They don't really have a schedule. You just got to get lucky. But going every day, you know, you'll up your chances at finding a good item. So that is that. Those are my 3 Scindapsus Pictus Exoticas, my $12.99 insane, gorgeous grocery store find, my $10 local nursery one that might be a silvery Ann, and then, you know, my Planterina one here who's still doing good. It's just, it was too expensive for what it is. And now that I've done this video, I think I'm going to end up combining these two together, if not all three of these together into one big basket, because I don't need all three of these separate plants hanging around anymore. Make room for new ones. And then just a couple of care tips for the Scindapsus Pictus Exotica. I let this plant completely dry out and then I leave it like that. I have found that this plant not only doesn't mind being dried out, but kind of enjoys it. I have found that if I overwater it even once, a leaf is going to turn yellow immediately. So I let the soil stay completely dry and then I let the leaves tell me when it needs water. Because when you touch the leaves, they're going to feel kind of thick and definitely like made of material, like some sort of fabric, almost like a succulent. They're so nice to touch. It's one of those plants that gives you a nice sensory experience. This, I know they say don't touch your plant leaves, they don't like it, but this is one of those plants I would say get used to how the leaves feel. That way you'll know when it needs water. You'll know when it's like, ooh, those are feeling really fine and thin and limp. When they curl in a little bit, they'll kind of curl a little bit in, you'll know it needs water, especially when you pick it up and it's like the lightest thing in the world and the leaves are feeling a little thin. Give it some water, completely soak it, and then it'll be good like that for quite a while. This is one I probably water once a month right now. Maybe in the summer it'll be a little more, but right now in the winter time, it's been once a month, maybe. But that is it. Those are my 3 Scindapsus Pictus Exoticas and all the information I have on them. Let me know if you have one of these plants. I would love to know if you're in love with it like I am. Also, let me know your care tips. If I'm taking care of mine wrong, let me know. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions as always in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss my next planty video. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you later in another video. Goodbye.